This is the Mammotion Yuka. It's a robotic lawnmower that picks up grass clippings and leaves. Apparently it makes its own little pile of robot poo. So here's what I reckon you should get with the kit. Definitely get the solar panels to charge your RTK, because you need to put the RTK as high up on your roof as you possibly can to get the most coverage around your property. Otherwise, you're going to end up with coverage problems like I've experienced in the past. With the RTK mounted properly at the very top of your roof, you're not going to have any dramas with connectivity. So definitely this is a huge upgrade in the Mammotion offering. The next thing that you also get is you get the mower itself, of course, and I note with interest that there are a lot more manual controls on the top. For example, this excellent button to change cutting height, and it's measured in centimetres to make it really easy to understand. Then there's the charging station. That hasn't changed much, although I do note that there's an absence of a garage this time, which means that this will be out in the weather when it's recharging and it rains. You'll also be pleased to know that there's a comprehensive range of waste packaging that comes with the product. Now, in dealing with these little robot mowers, I've learned a couple of things over the past few to make the process a bit easier. Make sure that you screw your base station into the ground in a reasonably flat level place away from pedestrian traffic. I've got this stump protecting it. It doesn't matter if you're putting the ground screws into quite hard ground. I've put them into a gravel pathway here and they coped just fine. Once you've got your base station set up and plugged into power, put your mower in the base station and the green lights on the side should start flashing to indicate that it's charging. Once you've done that, just nearby, set up your little RTK station. Now, this is not its final resting place, remember, it's going on the top of the roof, but I want to keep it nearby to me while I'm doing the setup. So I've just got it plugged into the solar panels here sitting on the deck, and you'll see the green lights on. Now that's going to allow me to bind both the mower and the RTK station to my home Wi-Fi network via the app on the phone. It sounds really complicated, but basically all you have to do is open the app, and in about a 4-step process it takes you right through. You're going to need your Wi-Fi password for your home modem nearby on hand, because you've got to put it in for both the mower and the RTK station. This Wi-Fi connection lets you install updates and control a mower straight from your phone. Now, the Yuka is supposed to be better at holding a signal when it loses sight of the GPS, like when it goes under bushes and around obstacles like this. This was the corner that took care of the Luba 2. It lost contact with the satellite and just stopped dead. We'll see how the Yuka performs in the same area, on approximately the same conditions. We've got slightly overcast sky, so we'll see how we go. So far, so good. Now, you can just drive around no-go areas like this when they're on the perimeter of where you want to mow. But if you have an area like this in the middle of the lawn, there's actually a place for you to go and modify the map and mark it out as a no-go area. Basically, wherever you drive the mower while you're creating a map is where it's going to mow to. So it's really important to go nice and slow and get your map right. It's kind of fun. It's like a remote control car.
The front wheel lifted.
So there is a drawback to only having an idler wheel at the front. Unlike the Luba 2, where you've got all 4 wheels driving forward, holes like this were not a problem. I in fact had this in the mowing area for the Luba 2, but I'm going to have to avoid all holes in the lawn with the Yuka. To be fair, it was a pretty deep hole, so this might be a spark for me to actually start repairing holes in my lawn. If you're going to get one of these mowers, it will pay you to fix up any of the larger holes that you have in your lawn, although it is coping quite well with a very uneven and undulating lawn. Well, the Yuka got stuck in an old post hole I'd forgotten about. Its front wheel went straight down a 2 foot deep 100mm hole, and there it sat for the whole night in the rain. Anyway, I went and put the Yuka back on the charging station, let it charge back up over a couple of hours, then came out, pressed the resume button, and it went back to exactly where it had got stuck and continued on without having to restart the job. That's certainly a great brain, that the battery can go completely flat and the mower will still remember exactly where it got up to. The advantage that the Yuka enjoys with its single pivoting front wheel and its 2 rear drive wheels is that it's got a really tight turning circle. So when it comes to getting around obstacles like this tree, it actually doesn't leave any uncut grass behind it, unlike some of the other 4-wheel drive mowers that have less tighter turning circles. Hang on, wait. There's more. Remember I told you about the catcher that goes on this mower? Well, it's finally arrived. And it would seem that not only is there more packaging, but potentially there might be some slight assembly required. And when I say some assembly required, I do mean some assembly required. We've got our catcher bag, catcher cover, extra battery to install, a counterweight, a handle to go on top, and this bar sort of stuff, that's got to go somewhere. We're going to have to do some surgery.
The front wheel lifted.
Oh, you're going to have bigger problems than that in a minute.
He be riding on the wave. I ain't got a lot to say. Mine's heavy, give me space. Time's ready, let me blaze. Spend money, what a waste. Time's money, money pay. You ain't ready for the 8th. She ain't ready for the 8th. He be riding on the wave. I ain't got a lot to say. Mine's heavy, give me space. Time's ready, let me blaze. Spend money, what a waste. Time's money, money pays. You ain't ready for the 8th. She ain't ready for the 8th. Mad as savage, in me back and I'm back and it happening, ready to blow. I remember doing deeds with Deji from the street, they left me on my own. Mom can't asking me about how I got the P, I told her leave him on my grow. Then the ring.
Quick tip, when you're putting the catcher net onto the base frame of the catcher, line up the corner seams with the corners of the catcher and then you won't have to refit it a couple of times, like I just had to.
Get your better whack to my condo where I bear tracks with a gang. Catch that for the gram, snap that for the man. These dudes do the most, no money in the hand. I ain't never had to feel away, rhyme steady and they feel the way. Occupation make it either way, never worry cause I can. Back chat from the whack gang, took charge when they sack man. Passport when a milestone, make space when the bags land. This must be a daydream, Max got me the mad plan. My team never lied on, due a visit from the facts man. He be riding on the wave, I ain't got a lot to say.
Well, 15 minutes later and the assembly is complete. It wasn't actually as bad as it looked when I first received the box. I must confess I got this catcher assembly just before Christmas and I put it in the back of the shed until after Christmas because I thought it was just going to take way too long to get assembled and tricked out. But it was deceptive. 10-15 minutes will get you underway despite the small screws and bits. It was relatively straightforward. One thing that does concern me now that I've got the catcher and the counterweight on is that the weight of this mower has gone up to about 22.5 kilos. And the other problem with it is that the new handle on the back of the catcher doesn't allow you to lift the mower up without compromising the center of balance. So you're either going to instinctively go to the front weight here where there's nothing to grab except the windscreen wiper for the little camera, which is not a good idea, or you're going to come underneath and put stress on the plastic cover. So I think if in future models they modify the counterweight to become a handle, that would be a big step forward because there are times where you're going to want to pick this mower up. It's going to get stuck under something, you're going to want to move it. It needs to be balanced with the handles. I can't wait to put it through its paces. Because I got this kit before Christmas and I've waited till the middle of January to complete the review, I haven't been mowing the grass. So I got a good challenge. It's not a lawn, it's an adventure. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set up a smaller mowing area that's equivalent to your average quarter-acre backyard, which I think would be perfect for a machine like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up inside that yard several dumping spots. Yes, you're right. We're going to tell the mower to take a dump in our backyard. Now it's summertime in Australia, so we've got all sorts of things. I'm going to be picking up larger sticks like this because I think it's unreasonable that we expect the mower to pick up this sort of stuff, but smaller twigs like this, I'm going to leave in this spot, see how it copes. We've also got a really good collection of gum leaves spread throughout the grass here, so it's going to be interesting to see how many of these it actually catches and sweeps up with that sweeper attachment on the bottom. Yeah, it's probably a bit big. No, that's unreasonable. Besides, I don't want to clean up the mess. Before we could get going, I had to set up the new perimeter of the mapped area, and then I had to drive the little Yuka to each dump spot and allocate this as a dump spot through the app. It's kind of like driving a little radio controlled car, except you do it with your phone and the menus are a lot more complex. The other thing you can't do too is you can't have the dumping spots against the perimeter. You've got to have them a couple of metres in from the perimeter for it to work. But once you get used to that, it really is as easy as driving around and telling it where to take a dump. Righto, the mower's in the task area, the dump points are set. I've assembled everything according to the instructions. Let's see what can go wrong now.
Start working.
So far so good. It's got a mind of its own though. Now I've got the cutting height set quite high at 6 centimetres because of the undulations and the fact that this lawn isn't really so much as a lawn as a rough backyard. It's got its knickers in a twist about a few of the spots, and it's really concentrated on sweeping where it sees uneven ground. It seems to be getting through the paspalum. It seems to be getting through the dandelions. We'll see how it goes with its cut with the sweeper on the back at the end. Finally, when people ask me what I do for a living, I've got a really good comeback. I sit around and wait to video robots taking a dump. Number one, mowing the grass. It's done an amazing job, particularly considering that I had seeding paspalum. Coming up, I had seed heads this high in the ground. It has got them all, which is better than my ride-on will ever do at this time of the year. It always leaves behind some paspalum seed heads, no matter how hard I try and get them all. This little robot has got the lot. You can probably see here, this is the area that was mowed, this is the area that wasn't mowed. The boundary runs right through my legs here, and you can see that over here we've got quite high grass, and over here billiard ball smooth. Because of its low height, I was able to direct it in underneath bushes in its pathway, and so it was able to do quite a neat job right up to the base of my larger bushes in the lawn. This horseshoe shaped garden did confuse it. In fact, it spent a bit of time just spinning around in here before it decided it couldn't find a path. The obstacle avoidance cameras on the unit do mean that with larger sort of horseshoe areas like this in your lawn, you're going to have to block them out and send it around, or it could get stuck. Areas with really long grass, it will struggle to move into because it thinks it's an obstacle. So if you hit this once with the line trimmer, the machine from that point forward will come right up to the tap, not a problem. Like most people in the Yarra Ranges, I've got a few rabbits floating around that are yet to meet my lead pellet dispenser. It coped with these little holes and these little obstructions in the lawn quite easily. I mean, this is one you can fit your fist into and it's mowed straight over the top of it, not a problem. The big feature, of course, with this mower, the Yuka, as opposed to its stablemates, is its ability to catch and dump your grass clippings, leaves off the lawn, sticks, bits of bark and twigs into designated spots, either throughout the lawn that it's mowing or outside of the lawn. It's done a remarkably good job at picking up the leaves. My estimate would be that it's picked up at least 80 to 85% of the leaves in one mow. So if you were to run a catcher run, say twice a week over your lawn, you'd have very few leaves on your lawn if that's the sort of thing that you were looking for. Consider the fact that I've got a really big gum tree shedding leaves daily on this lawn, and it's done a remarkably good job. One thing I will point out though with the catcher is if you have the piles located in the lawn that it's mowing, you'll end up with tufts of grass that don't get mown around the pile. So my big learning out of using the Luba is to allocate your dump piles outside of the mowing area and then track a path to them for the Luba. You can do all of that in the app quite easily, and that will avoid these unmown patches of grass once you've picked up your leaves and sticks. Once you've fitted your catcher, you're not stuck with catching every time. All you have to do is unplug and disconnect your catcher like that, and the lawnmower by default goes back to just a straight lawnmower. So you can sweep and catch your lawn once a month, once every 2 months, or every cut if you prefer. And now it's ready to catch again. The game changer in this setup has been getting the solar panels with the RTK. This is a huge leap forward for Mammotion. It's meant that I've been able to put the RTK unit much higher because I'm not tethered to a power point with a certain length of cord. But I've had a much better connection to the mower. I haven't experienced any connectivity issues or errors or glitches with the Yuka at all. And I put that down to simply the height gain from having the solar panel with the RTK. So if I was looking for a robot mower and I had the readies, would I get one of these? Absolutely. This is a really neat little package. Spend a day getting to know it, take your time setting it up, and it shouldn't let you down. Guys, if you like these kind of videos, don't forget, hit the subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and there's plenty more on timthompson.ag. Catch you next week.